What's up? Gonna be doing your VOD review. By you I mean VenomsKnight on Lucio on Hollywood.
Alright.
I'm pretty much just gonna go Pharah right away until you guys say something.
We want to run dive on this map or just deathball?
I think deathball would work better here.
Yeah, I think deathball would work better. And
This is good.
Pharah, what are you gonna go? I'm gonna work off of you.
Goes alright. Goes alright.
Perfect.
Wombo combo.
So what I'm gonna be looking for here is the big thing with Lucio when you're running a Rhine and sort of like a deathball comp like this, where or at least with your tank comp where you have Rhine Zarya, is that it's really powerful. You can enable your tanks if you speed in. You can essentially enable your Rhine to do more work that way. So speeding into an engagement, or even like speeding in to clean up an engagement if you get a pick because you have a Hanzo.
Revendro's benefit. If you see a widow and see where she is, original idea, call it.
Alright.
I will
Let's go. Which way do we want to go? I say we go left
Just
and
gonna look at
around
some
point.
cooldown management as well and ult usage. Focus on some basics.
Watch Farah. Farah on ground. Focus Farah.
You sort of misused your amp here, but you did swap to healing, which is good because you see that your Hanzo's low.
Watch Farah.
Yeah, your Hanzo's low there, but as long as he stays safe and he doesn't have garbage positioning, then he should be okay because he's out of line of sight of the enemy, which doesn't mean that you necessarily need to amp in that moment because he's not in danger. But it is good that you swap to healing here.
Farah on ground. Focus Farah.
You did not
Push
go the way
straight
you
to
said
point
you
now.
Point?
So they're calling to go straight to point, which means that you should be swapping to speed if you guys want to go in, and you should, when you speed in as Lucio, you want to be calling out to your team 3, 2, 1 speeding. And so you don't necessarily have speed amp here, but you can speed you can just use your speed aura to get you guys to the point faster. Yes, so you should be going in with your line here and using speed.
Mercy.
And you sort of backed off there, even though your health is pretty full down the bottom left. You can be more aggressive with Lucio because he's more slippery, harder to hit, and he has a good self-sustain as well. So I mean, you should play him a little more aggressively than most healers.
Sorry, oh, never mind.
Mercy's down. Rissa.
Hamster.
Hanzo's down.
Nice.
Yeah, it looks like your team's mostly on. Oh, okay, all right. Yeah, so your main heal is what, a mercy?
Rissa.
Hamster.
Yeah, okay. So you see that everyone on your team is pretty much full here. So you should just be using your speed to get in closer to these people and clean up the fight.
Hamster.
Otherwise, good gameplay right now. Yeah,
Focus
No, get the
Farah down.
nice. Got the Pharah.
Nice.
Just let, stay out. Yeah, spam down hamster if you can. Just let hamster run around behind you.
I do like that you try to keep on healing a lot of the time, but
Mercy.
your job really as Lucio is more peeling for your main support
Go.
and providing support to your team like as a whole. And maybe if like multiple people are sort of on critical health, then you can use your speed or your healing amp. But to be honest, when you're running a Lucio with sort of a deathball tank comp, then what you should really be doing is enabling your tanks to speed in. But other than that, so I'm liking that you're.
Go. Push up, man. Go ahead. Stay with them.
Yeah, so they're calling to push up right now. So I would want to be using my my speed to go straight in on them, because in a second here I watched this a little bit earlier. They're gonna call for the Orisa because she's alone, and so you should be speeding onto her and just cleaning up really quick, which allows you to sort of gain momentum and steamroll towards the enemy.
Nice.
Rissa.
Rissa alone. Get her.
Yeah. You swap speed, okay.
Mercy's gonna try to go.
Mercy.
Nice.
Skunk rat behind.
Fall back
Watch
up.
hamster ult.
Nice.
crap.
Oh,
Yeah.
so right here, if the hamster were to turn around and just gun you down, cause look at your health, that'd be a rip. So what I'd be doing here is using my E to get back to my team, and then so I'd sort of bounce off that right wall there, and then I'd swap over to heal so I can gain some more health there.
You know, so that's why I ran into them.
Sorry, sorry, sorry. We can come back.
So you do manage to retreat, but that was kind of sketchy. You almost got taken out by the Hammond.
Hamster's behind. Careful.
Alright.
Hamster's down,
Nice.
let's go.
You punished him. Okay.
Spot that.
Nice, nice.
6, go,
Knockout's
go, go.
one.
Junk 1.
Lucio has his ult. I have my ult.
I'd be waiting for That's good. That's good.
Once you push
Ooh,
one
you got a
further,
pick.
then
Okay.
I'll use it.
Okay, got a pick.
Never mind.
Oh, that's unlucky. Unlucky.
Cree for Lucio. Diva, diva, diva.
Thanks for the revive.
Sorry, should have
Hamster
shielded
behind
that. Hamster, hamster, hamster.
Good peel. Nice.
Hamster's gonna come back with health. Or no, he's not. Okay.
Diva, diva,
You
diva.
need to get back to your
Diva,
team.
diva.
Yeah. Nice. Cool.
Uh,
I would have boosted. Yeah, you were a little late on that on the healing amp there, because your Rhine does fall, but he may have fallen even with it, because they were focusing pretty hard.
Diva, diva, diva.
So you can see that your yeah, your Rhine gets low. I think your Zarya's actually pretty good. It looks like, but yeah, this is a case where you would want to be using your healing amp to get your Rhine up real fast.
86.
But because you lose him, yeah, you want to back out here.
Watch my health bar.
Oh, never mind.
We got hamster on our support.
Your
Grab.
Only
it's
just
good
one
peel for your Mercy there, but your
soldier.
DPS do manage to get some more picks here,
Mercy
so
might
it's a
be
winnable fight.
Go, 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 go.
I'd be using speed here because you're on full health and the Hammond doesn't really pose a big threat to you. Yeah, not really paying attention to you, trying to take you out, so I'd be using speed.
5 ults, got shatter.
Okay. Can we push on the card and res or no?
So yeah, a lot of I feel like a lot of lower level players will tell you as Lucio that you really need to like stay on heals, Lucio. Like you're throwing if you don't heal that much. To be honest, in a more coordinated environment, your main support's going to be doing most of the healing, and you should be assisting in sort of. I mean, it's very situational which one you want to be on, but in a lot of cases here, you are using your heal over your speed, and it's not a good thing. But yeah.
On the shatter for a few seconds.
Now holding on to shatter.
Well, that was pretty dope. You saved your Pharah and your Mercy there with your sound barrier. That's a pretty good usage.
Hammer, hold on to shatter for a few seconds.
Now holding on to shatter.
And that chunk was very unlucky, and he ulted in the wrong spot. So right here, you could be telling your team to so you have 5 seconds into your speed, right? And the fight's pretty much won. So you could go up there and get some more ult charge by just like killing the sim, and I think there's probably one more person up there, I'd guess. So yeah, you could tell them that you guys. Oh, there's a diva here.
Can't get him,
Okay.
can't get him.
I'll
Diva, diva, diva.
fight on point.
Demac, demac.
Yeah, so I would.
Soldier, soldier. Back right, back right.
This is good. This is good. You're on speed for that. Okay.
Moira left.
In terms of your mechanical aim on Lucio, you're doing pretty well.
Hammond pile drive. Focus ham.
Nice.
Hamster, 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 hamster.
Get out of it. Get out of there. Okay. Do you
Nice.
have
Stand
any-
heal to get your Rhine up.
How are we doing, Graf?
Good stuff.
Watch out for default.
Alright. Don't have. Alright, no grab. I'll shatter.
Good healing app. That was good. That was good. Because your Ryan needs help there, and I think maybe one of your other teammates was low. Let's see. It's really hard to see. Regardless, it was a good amp there. Because your Ryan did need some help.
Ah, sorry, shield
Watch out, what's
bug.
the hand? Hamster, sorry.
And good peel for your backline there. Trying to harass the Hammond.
I see hamster.
Good stuff.
3
He's
picks.
on your Lucio.
Hamster backline, hamster, hamster, hamster.
Nice. So I'd be using, yeah, it's up to speed, good stuff.
Payload to choke.
If everyone's full and you like don't need to be on heals, and there's like not a fight coming in or like any kind of thing like that, they're not throwing a Moira ball where you need to be like healing before it happens, I guess. You should just be on speed, just for enabling your team to sort of move around and get to where they need to be. Like if your Hanzo needs to go position somewhere, it's just easier for him to be faster and get there quicker, you know?
Mercy alone.
Diva right,
3 minutes
Diva
to
right.
Watch Bastion.
Diva behind us.
Hey, heals, please.
I got her. I got her.
Nice.
Watch out, bomb coming in. Bomb coming in.
Okay.
I said clear.
I had I'm your bomb. surprised I missed that.
Yeah, I'd want to go over to Urian and help him get out of there.
Alright, go
You
ahead.
didn't necessarily have to use that, but Urian was out of position, so you kind of did save his ass. Yeah, I would. It's better to use Lucio ult. I mean, you did get some value out of that, but optimally, you use Lucio ult in reaction to one of their ultimates. Like they have I think they had a junk earlier, and you used it right before he ulted, which was good. Not sure if it was intentional, but yeah. So optimally, you use Lucio ult in reaction to one of their ults. That's how most support ults should be used. But you can also use Lucio's ult sort of as an initiation tool. It's a less common usage, or you can use it when it seems like their team is about to win the fight, but all of a sudden, if you get this giant burst of health, you can retake the fight, sort of. But that was a decent use of ult to keep your main tank alive.
Thanks. I need
Let's see if it
heals,
pays
I
off.
need heals.
Good amp, nice,
Diva?
Hamster, hamster,
Diva,
hamster.
Where's left?
nice.
Diva 1.
Sorry for
So I'm not sure why you backed up there, but
I have grab.
I mean the fight was kind of raging on. So,
Sorry. Use it when you see.
but yeah,
Oh,
as Lucio, I don't think you've died like once
versus 1.
which is good, but it also means that you could be a little more aggressive.
Never mind.
Like experiment with your playstyle a little. If you find that you can be more aggressive without sacrificing any deaths, then go for it. Personally, I play a more aggressive Lucio,
Bastion.
but
Live through that.
everyone has their own playstyle. So if you find that passive just works better for you, then go for it.
Hold on, please.
You got enemies
There's
right behind us.
Bastion.
Fire, no fire strike. Watch out.
Right, so their tire was coming in there, and what you should be doing is like speeding away so that you can spread your team out really quick. But yeah, it's okay. They only got one, and they got 2 picks here, so your team should be backing
Pretty
out.
awkward.
Hammer, can you get out?
Let's get a
Oh my God.
reset, guys. Reset.
Let's good call for the reset, yeah.
2.5 minutes, reset. Yeah, we still have time.
Alright, just reset.
I saw that. This gate. That's rough.
Alright, just reset.
Long
Watch out for the
distance
Diva.
damage.
Diva's now bomb.
I'm coming back.
Alright, so you're sort of playing around a corner there, when their diva's like in the middle of your whole team. You don't need to be afraid of her. Like, in this situation, you should be like pressuring her, in fact, because she can't kill you that quickly. You're really freaking hard to hit as Lucio. Like, have you ever gone into a custom game and then, or like, have you ever faced a Lucio that's just strafing, like AD and spamming like his crossfade? It's incredibly hard to hit. Yeah, so basically you're more slippery as Lucio than pretty much any other support. So you should be abusing that and sort of pressuring people when you can. And you did that. You do that for when you're peeling. Like their hand will come to your back line and you'll peel, and that's good. You stand up to him. That's good. But right here, you could be standing up to the diva.
Overextend.
Hamster by
behind
spawn.
us.
Hamster, hamster, hamster.
And it's pretty hard to land Lucio's shots from far away. So it's better to get closer if you can without getting punished so hard.
They have a Bastion now.
Down hamster.
It's a decent use of amp. You could ask your main support for heals though. It's okay to do that.
Go.
Yikes.
Actually,
Sorry.
Okay, going.
He's
going.
out.
I would call out to your team that the Hammond is low on the right side, because he doesn't have any cooldowns. He might have shield actually. No, I think he used his shield. So I'd be calling out to your team that you guys can go punish that Hammond.
Got him.
Heck,
You didn't necessarily have to use that ult here. Your Hanzo got 2 picks. Your Zarya does go down, but it does seem to be a one fight. Their Moira ults, which is kind of annoying, but that's about it. As long as you're, I mean, if you stay on heals and you just amp heals, then you can't really die to Moira ult, as far as I know. And then your main support's doing their job. You're not gonna die to Moira ult.
I couldn't get you in time.
So you didn't necessarily need to do that there.
Around the
and I would have saved it to use against a
Cool.
diva bomb or like
Moira one,
something else.
Moira, down. Diva.
Oh crap.
Like right there. Oh, dude. That's perfect timing. Okay, right. So you see what you should have did there? You should have saved your ult, and used it reactively instead. Quick tip on Lucio, actually. I don't know how I can demonstrate this, but so okay, right here.
Moira.
Let's say you had your ult.
Diva.
If you hit Q, you'll notice that Lucio, when he ults, he goes up a little bit, and then he comes back down. So a lot of people will be like having fun, like jumping out for really high points and then ulting, but it's actually better to do the opposite because it comes out faster. So I would want you to, so it's better to ult off the cart and then try to land on the cart when you ult, because that way you're coming off the ground and then you're landing on a higher surface, which means it comes out faster, essentially. Just a little neat trick on Lucio. But yeah, you should have saved your ult here. You popped a little early in that fight when you didn't need to, and that sort of cost you the fight because you could have used it reactively here. But yeah,
Diva.
Oh crap.
unlucky. Two go down.
We can.
Fight's lost. Should back out here.
Gotta reset.
He's fall back in spawn, guys.
Mercy's pop. Or sorry, Diva's pop. Can I get heals, please? Oh,
Yeah, I got it.
hammer.
Good use of going on heals here. Didn't need to amp there necessarily, but that's okay. You're not really in a fight, so
We're kind of
you can do that.
stuck in some. Oh, okay. Where's that?
Dang, your fire got destroyed.
Switch out of this comp and do something else because it isn't working.
Yeah, I would amp here actually. So even though you're out of the fight and no one's in danger, it doesn't look like you're gonna initiate a fight anytime. Oh, actually, your Mercy did res, but so yeah, never mind. You didn't need to use amp here. But if you're in the middle of a fight, like and you were that low, and your Hanzo was as well, you should amp.
Yeah, I'll
But right there was okay because you're out of a fight.
I have grab coming up.
So you should have done there actually is that your Zari was starting to go down, and once you notice that she's like dropping to about half health, you should hit E there to
Let's go dive.
yeah, she starts to go down, and your Rhine shield breaks as well. So this would be a great time right here to hit E, or like maybe a little bit earlier. Those are hard split second decisions to make though. So
Something else because it isn't working.
I'm being a little hard on you. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll switch.
Let's go dive.
I have grab coming up. This
Okay,
one's
go. Use grab. Can you don't get eaten by Diva?
at 90.
Use.
That's a good healing amp to keep your Mercy alive. A little bit late though. You could have kept your Rhine alive or the Zarya. Yeah.
90%.
Alright, gotta reset. Watch the fast. Reset.
I don't know why you used that. You weren't really in danger. A Hammond can only do so much. And they claimed your Pharah, and I think you're.
Can you don't get eaten by Diva?
At 90.
No, mate. Diva's.
Alright, got watch the fast.
Yeah, they claimed your Pharah earlier. Okay, so yeah, you didn't want to ult there. You should have saved it. Panic ults happen. Yeah. Try to avoid them. Before you press Q, take a moment to think about why you're pressing Q and if it's a good idea or if you're just being an idiot. Because every once in a while, all of us have those panic ult moments. So try to avoid it as much as possible, basically. That wasn't a great ult because you weren't really in danger. It was just sort of their Hammond pressuring you guys.
Use grab. Can you don't get eaten by Diva?
At 90.
Use. No, mate. Diva's out. Let's go. Use grab.
I'm
On card if you can. Or do we?
90%.
Alright, gotta reset. Watch the fast. Reset.
So maybe you're trying to save your Hanzo there, but he's getting pocketed by your main support, and Hammond has a very difficult time out damaging a Mercy and your healing aura. Unless he lands like all of his headshots, that Hanzo is not dying. So you didn't necessarily have to ult there. And once again, you could have saved it for like a junk tire or something.
5.
Lucio should most often be used reactively. And you were reacting to something there, but it wasn't as big of a threat as you saw it in the moment was.
2.
Bad.
Yeah, right there you should have been using your healing amp. But so yeah, you go down there. So yeah, what I haven't been seeing a lot of is you calling to speed onto them, like their baby diva is just alone, and if you call to kill the baby diva, your Rhine can take her out in 2 swings. So if you like Rhine, 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 I'm speeding 3, 2, 1, get the baby diva. If you call something like that, or baby diva speeding 3, 2, 1, right? If you do that and your Rhine comes in and you just clobbers her, she's gone for that fight, and you don't have to worry about her, right? Because she can't get back in mech.
2.
Sorry, bad.
So yeah, unlucky you go down there,
The hamster keeps on killing
and big
me.
Hammond strike there, and the Bastion gets you.
Sorry.
I was late.
And
Not much you can do about that.
You just pop. Let's go.
Other than you use healing amp earlier on, but Bastion was gonna shred you either way.
Eva D mech.
Alright,
Hamster
let's
coming in.
push it.
Well,
Going up ahead.
unlucky. Probably just shouldn't have taken that route. It's okay to. You got a little impatient there. You should have gone around it, but.
Ah, crap. I can touch.
Just stall out here. Yep, that's your job. Do your best. Good boop. Get everyone off the card. Amp heal. Nice, nice. Stay on that payload. What you can do here is you can just sort of sit behind the payload, like right here, and just sort of crouch until they come over to this side, and then you like switch sides, and their junk kind of got in your face, and you end up going down. But you did your best to stall, and that's what counts. Solid. They really did pull out the Bastion though.
All good.
Unlockers. It's a silly tactic.
Oh no, I got knocked back off the field.
That's all good. That's a good hold.
Yeah.
Maybe first point hold this shit pretty
Corey knows what he's talking about. It was a good hold. Good hold. What am I talking about? It was a good push.
Do you want to double shield it?
So what are you guys running in defense? Let's see.
Yup.
Double shield. The Pharah.
Defense.
Alright.
Defense.
I'd expect a Bastion or a Torb to be run with double shield as well. But you could run like,
Well,
man, I don't even know. Running a Lucio with this is
I see that
can
you are
work, I
watching
guess.
my streams.
You pair well with the Rhine.
I
Double
turned it off so I
shield
don't, like,
with a Pharah. It's like a spam comp with 2 shields. Okay.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
So you do have some synergy here with the Rhine. I guess the junk.
I
can
won't
enable
do
the junk to get in a little
webcam thing
closer.
yet, 'cause I don't think people are ready for the beard to be all fucked up.
Let's see how this goes.
I always thought the webcam was somewhat optional.
Nice spray,
Probably not
by the way.
for me.
I like it.
Not on PC, Bubba. Okay, so we're thinking we'll defend outside the corner here,
I guess,
and
let's
then
see.
if we get when we get pressured, we come back to here.
I think we can set up our first Orisa shield up front, up forward, and then, but we don't want to fight a lot to hold that. We just want to be able to like
It's a
spam damage and then back up to this next corner.
Yep.
So like,
They have a Rhine.
yeah.
And a Hammond again. Alright.
That's good. Showing a little bit of aggression here to. Oh, your Pharah should really be in the air.
Go back to first corner.
Watch out with
That's not your
someone.
fault though.
Oh, it's a Genji.
Ooh, I like those dinks. That's good. Nice. Good CC to get him away.
Okay.
Watch out with the Genji
pull up
flanking
this-
from behind.
Genji on the roof.
Where? Okay. Hamster if you can.
Genji oh my god. There's a Bastion set up the room.
Mercy on point. Oh, Bastion shit.
Holy hell.
Wherever
That's
the
a
right
good heal
part is,
amp,
there's
yeah.
a Bastion.
Keep yourself alive. Important.
Yes.
So you're coming up on an ult here. I want to see if you. Yeah, you use it. Okay.
Mercy.
You use Lucio ult very liberally, but in this case it was actually not a bad choice. Because your team seemed to be losing the fight. Oh. Okay. So you may have been able to survive without it, and if you did, then you could have ulted reactively to the Genji ult. But this may work out for your team. Actually, we'll see.
Bastion's down. Mercy's
Nice,
down.
good call.
Warrior behind.
So usually it's not a great idea to use your ult right when you get it, but here it was okay. Mainly because your fair comes in clutch.
Genji?
So you weren't firing at him there, so I would be reloading if you can't acquire the target yet.
Where's that Bastion?
Back right.
And also, he wasn't posing a threat to you either. If it was a 1v1 situation, you don't want to reload there. Because you want to be able to fire at him instantly and start doing damage. But you were with your team, so you could have reloaded there.
Oh, did I get? Oh. Leave me alone, don't try and res me.
So another thing is right there, you sort of booped him away from your team, which is fine. But one thing that you can do to enable your team to eliminate someone is you can sort of do like a flank boop where you boop them into your team, which allows your Rhine and like the closer range heroes to do effective damage to them. And that's something that's really annoying to the enemy, is when they get booped into your team and then they just get destroyed, like you collapse on them, right?
Okay, Lucio has ult again.
And you already do have another ult, that's really good. Good work.
Who we fighting on point?
Oh shit, I'm down.
Oh, yikes.
Got you fired. Watch out for Genji.
That was good, peeling for your support, so again she couldn't kill her, nice. Oh, that's unlucky, man. Yeah, you always want to be looking for where the enemy is when you're ulting, so that that doesn't happen, but that happens to us all. You know, that's just unlucky. You ult and then it gets cancelled by the pin. That is not fun, man.
Got you fired. Watch out for Genji.
Yeah, that was a good peel there. Let's see. Oh, it feels bad, man. Oh, I can't stop watching it, dude. Oh, it's so bad. Oh, that is unlucky, man. Alright. So I assume they're gonna take first here, but that's okay. Oh,
Focus the Bastion,
dude, your
Bastion.
team comes in clutch here.
Bastion
Okay,
down.
Mercy
nice,
versus
sweet.
Mercy.
Got this.
Remember that.
Mercy's down.
Yeah, I want to see more of
I got payload.
some more speedy boy wall riding back to the point, which comes with time and learning Lucio. But you should honestly like just go into custom games and or like your own private game and just practice wall riding around the map, or even turn skirmish on for competitive, and just pick Lucio and sort of wall ride with him around the maps. And yeah, learn some rollouts. Go watch SK. He's got some great videos up on YouTube about rollouts and how they work and specific tips. See, it goes really in depth. Like one thing you may not have known is that if you look up as Lucio while you wall ride, you gain elevation when you like chain wall rides over time. And yeah, you like gain more elevation when you look up, and when you look down, you gain less elevation. And when you're looking dead ahead, it's like neutral. I thought that was really fascinating when I first learned that. I don't know if you know that already, but
Okay, let's push up to the choke, but not past the corner now.
those are the kind of tips that SK can teach you. So yeah, go ahead and look him up on YouTube. He's pretty great.
So guys, like hold back behind hay bales.
That's good. You use your speed to get out of there.
Mine's
Unlucky, dude. Rip.
We're getting flanked by the Genji and
I would speed into that Genji and be aggressive, because you have your boop, and your boop is basically a long range melee. It does just about the same amount of damage. I think it's 25 instead of 30. I think 30 is the normal for melee. I could be wrong, in which case fire me as a coach. But yeah, what I would be doing here is speeding onto him. You don't necessarily have to use amp, but you would definitely use your crossfade to change to speed, and yeah, like wall ride off the cart over to him, and then just like land a melee and a boop, or a, because that's a good combo basically with Lucio's. You can melee and then boop, and it does a very quick amount of damage. It's like, what is that, 20 or 55? That's a lot. It's like a quarter of a 200 HP.
Yeah, but fuck him. I got the hammer.
Oh, and he doesn't go down. So yeah, there's a case where your passive Lucio playstyle doesn't pay off there. You were not in danger there. He's like behind your entire team, and he's that low. right there. He's like 1 bar. Yeah, I would want you to speed up onto him and then boop him, and that would probably finish him off. So securing a kills as Lucio isn't a bad thing. Just don't be a Reddit Lucio where you go around wall riding and not healing anyone, right? It just seems like your Lucio playstyle is very passive, and I think you could definitely benefit from not being as passive, and being a little more aggressive. Personally, I play a pretty aggressive Lucio, and sometimes that doesn't pay off, but a lot of the times it's really rewarding because not only are you providing support to your team, but you're also causing like havoc for the enemy. So yeah,
Genji and
be a little more of a brawling Lucio. I mean, everyone has their playstyle, but right here would be a great time for you to step up and take care of the Genji.
Yeah, but fuck him. I got the hamster.
Genji
Where's the
still
Genji at?
house, but I'm not sure where he
Genji's
left.
house probably gonna come top.
Looking good.
Where's
Getting
that
both now.
bastion?
Genji's behind us, by the way.
Oh, unlucky. What happens here? Oh, both shields are down, so you don't have any cover. Yeah, they should have been holding shields
Where's
here
that bastion?
or something.
Genji's behind us, by the way.
Yeah, spare shot just catches you out.
You're
Let's secure
Um,
point.
You could have been hugging the wall maybe tighter here, but like over here instead of right on the point directly, because he doesn't have sight lines here, and you're still healing them. But yeah, that's unlucky.
their Mara just spawned.
Leave that Genji alone. Wait, where's that bastion? Is it bastion
Get
choke?
back the point.
Left-hand side.
Also, I'm noticing that you're not hitting tab much, so you're not seeing who's dead. Like as Lucio, it sometimes is rewarding, and you get some more value out of him if you press tab and you can see the counter on who's dead and like when they're gonna respawn. Because if they're gonna respawn in like half a second, why not wait for them and then speed them with you? And you should really do that for only like heroes that are gonna have a hard time getting back to point, like a Roadhog or Zarya or McCree maybe. But you don't necessarily have to wait for Tracers and Winstons and stuff because they have good movement abilities. And Orion, it would be helpful to Orion as well, but he also has charge, so that's sort of map dependent. Here you would want to speed him back because charging doesn't do him much good. But maybe on like Nepal, there's usually some bigger, wide open areas where he can charge and get pretty far. Anyways, hit tab more, see who's dead in your team. This doesn't look like it's gonna be winnable.
Genji's down.
Oh, never mind. It could be winnable here.
Nope, I'm down.
Oh, you need to get out of that Bastion sight line, man. Respect his sight line.
Get there, Marcy, without
You can't do much about him.
I already thought I'd be able to save fire.
Can't really do it. You're fine. Don't give it to him. Don't give it to him. Hold it.
Fall back, fall back, fall
Now
back.
pull back, pull back.
We're losing people.
Oh my god, we
back
can.
up,
It's okay to give it up here.
No, we don't have.
Nope, Genji's blade.
Uh-oh.
Got him.
Oh, we get him down. Nice.
Nice. Okay,
I want you to amp heal right here. Nice. That is a solid amp. Look at all that ult charge. Let's see.
we're losing people. We don't have.
Let's see, you're at what?
Genji's
70, and then you amp here.
got him.
Nice.
You look at all that ult charge you're gaining. You're at 80, and then
Hold it. Pick up the
amp,
sword,
It
fire,
took way
drop your
longer
shield.
than
and you're all the way up to, you get to 100. Nice, dude. That's a high value amp right there.
Alright, I have my ult again.
Okay.
I'll just wait until the time comes.
Okay.
When they push in pretty hard.
Shield,
down,
shield,
right?
shield,
Shield?
shield. Bastion, bastion,
you
bastion,
got
bastion. Bastion
Good
down,
comms
right
there.
arm.
Get the Bastion, yeah.
Bastion, bastion, bastion.
So you weren't like looking at the kill feed, or I think you were just hearing what's behind you, and you're like, Lucio ult time. I'm afraid.
Bastion.
So yeah, I do see a lot of misusage of your ult here in this VOD, and that's okay. It's something you'll learn along with time, but yeah, typically you want to use it reactively or to sort of turn the tide of a fight. It can be used preemptively sometimes, but here this is kind of just a misusage in my opinion. Their Moira does ult, but you're not in that much danger, because
Bastion, bastion, bastion.
so what you should have done there is, yeah, well you hear that their Rhine, hold on,
just wait until the time comes.
Yeah, you hear their Rhine shatter,
Shield,
Don't
shield,
run,
shield,
shield.
shield, Bastion, Bastion,
Yeah,
Bastion, Bastion. Bastion
Appreciate it.
down, Reinhardt.
but you turn around and don't see it, so you don't know who gets hit. But then you turn here and you see your Hanzo and your Mercy aren't shattered. And what I would want you to do is look around to see who, if anyone actually did get shattered. But it looks like your Rhine's okay. You do save your Orisa, but it's okay if she goes down in that fight. So you didn't necessarily need to ult there. That's a yikes. You just got taken out.
I just had to get it.